What is up, my Lorcana Goons? And welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. It's Friday, so you're here for our weekly Friday Market Watch, where Zach and I go over Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices. And boy, do we have a chunk of news to go over today. Zach, first of all, how are you doing? Second of all, everybody, as you can see, I'm opened up to my Twitch stream right here from Wednesdays. It was like an emergency stream, Zach Stone. And we have, I believe his name is Greg here from the communications team of Team Lorcana. They made an emergency stream after all these pictures were leaked, apparently, for stuff we're going to get next week. Basically saying we're not getting the World Tournament as a public invitation. It's only going to be private for the players competing. So none of us are invited to the World Tournament. That's like the biggest news that I want to start off talking about today. You can see the chat right here to the right of me, feeling pretty sad about the news. But Zach, how are you doing today on this Friday afternoon as we prepare to go over a bunch of stuff to talk about today?
Doing okay. The news isn't something that I more or less like enjoyed listening to, but I think it definitely comes from a place of like heavy hardship and understanding that they would love to kind of have that done. But yeah, that's Greg Tito. That is the director of communications for Ravensburger, and I do like that they are holding themselves accountable, bringing us up to date news and making announcements. And this was like the first of that they said many things to come later. I know this Tuesday, the 6th, we're gonna get the next chapter. We're going to get all the stuff revealed by them. Again, there is a lot of information going around right now. Nobody knows what to believe, and everyone's kind of reacting to what they've seen online. They acknowledged it themselves. They said they see what we see, and I know a lot of people want to talk about it, but it is going to be something to find out later on this Tuesday, and I'm excited for that announcement, by the way, Kevin. How about you?
Yeah, overall, like I'm still excited for Tuesday. We've all seen the pictures, the leaks, as they say. A lot of it could still be rumors, in my opinion, but based off of this stream, it does feel like semi-confirmed things. Because he even said himself, like, "Oh, we're gonna reveal much more than just some grainy pictures." And a lot of us have seen those grainy pictures, and it is making impacts in the community, in the market. First of all, the my opinion on the Worlds thing, I want to go over that real quick. I am just completely disappointed, crestfallen even, that we do not get to attend the very first Lorcana World Tournament. I wanted to see them crown a world champion in person, in real life. You know, this game means a lot to me, and just like other card games mean a lot to me, I've been able to go to the World Tournament for those card games as an attendee, and they've been a blast, man. Being able to invite people from around the world to your TCG, I think is such a unique experience, man. And I am greatly disappointed that we will not be invited to watch the Disney Lorcana Challenge World Championship live, which is going to be a little interesting, because that means I'm curious to see how the stream is going to be. Personally, we've seen the huge differences in the European stream to the North American stream, but you know, I want to see what that's going to be like. But yeah, not being able to be there as a fan in person, no side events, no none of that. It's kind of rough. I'm curious if we're even going to be able to acquire that alternate art Whole New World, because it felt like that's how you were going to get it, right? If they had one open to the public, then they'd give it out for side events the way they did with the Rapunzel, the Baymax, Cinderella, etc., etc. But that is like my number one qualm with all this, you know. And everything else, guys, reprints, rotations, that doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna buy the packs. So really, what I'm worried about is the World Tournament stuff, especially because people are rightfully pointing out that Ravensburger had said something entirely different, and during D23, take a look at this tweet from Rebecca Quest. Shout out Rebecca, by the way.
And then the World Championship, we're planning to mostly be a quest event that has a major challenge event in the middle of it. For future planning.
They planned it to be a mostly quest event, which is like a fan event, and then with the main event being the World Championships event, right? And now they just completely did a 180. None of that, it was not that it wasn't true, but they obviously had to backtrack on that, which was very disappointing. And I'm glad that Rebecca shared that, because yes, promises were made and promises have not been kept. And that really sucks. That really sucks, in my opinion, for this in particular. You know what I mean? Real quick, before we move on to the rest of the Market Watch news, I want to give you guys a quick update. If you guys are signed up for the D23, your D23 Iagos should start arriving in the mail very soon. This is a card from set 8 from Reign of Jafar. It's a promo card that you get for being a D23 member. So make sure you check your mailboxes this week. Just make sure I want to go over that before I forget. But yeah, Zach, we have news about no World Tournament. We got some rumored news about rotation. If you guys aren't familiar with what rotation is, basically, there's plans from sets 1 through 4, if I'm not mistaken, from what the grainy pictures look like. They're supposedly going to get rotated out for competitive play. I'm not sure when. Just the grainy pictures only speak for themselves to a certain degree. But pretty much there's a big speculation that a lot of our early cards from sets the 1 through 4 are going to be rotated out from competitive play. So you won't be able to use them for your set championships, your DLCs, your local game store tournaments. Yeah, some cards were also leaked for Reign of Jafar, if I'm not mistaken. So because of that rumored rotation thing, and because of any other cards that were leaked within the last couple days, some cards are shooting up in price, like this Jafar newly crowned enchanted, and some cards are just tumbling down in price, right, Zach?
Yeah, there's too much drip with all the leaks going on right now. But one thing to kind of remember is that like it's just going to be like 8 sets at most that are in the current rotation of the competitive construction from what I'm able to see. And that once another set comes out, once it's like the 9th set, they kick out the old 4. If cards are reprinted in any of these other sets, then those cards will be able to be played. But then they did, we did see something about an infinity format. So who knows what anything like that's going on, if it's going to be like expanded or something along the lines of that nature. I think it's like the wild compared to like Hearthstone's gameplay. But overall, we're waiting for Tuesday to get some confirmation, to get some actual news from Ravensburger themselves. Again, they're really waiting to deliver everything that we have upon them. And who knows, what if this was something that they, wasn't supposed to get out, and they see the reactions and then they take a step back and revert some things. We don't know what they're going to do. Again, they're going to listen to us, and they do listen to feedback. So with the glass half full perspective, I wish we could have attended Worlds, Kevin. I know you and I have talked about wanting to go to the World Championships, going to Disney World for the first time too. But they planned it, but things don't always come according to plan, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure they're going to make up for it in tons of ways. I know Ravensburger has the right people in charge, and it does make me feel confident that I'm in the right game. But a new card that has been going up in price, that is not something that's leaked or anything. This is a card that's already out. It's the newly Jafar Enchanted artwork, and look at this. It's got 3 listings, and there's only sales for about like 130, I think, at most so far. But take a look at this, guys. People are picking up your Enchanted Jafars. We aren't seeing any movement for your non-foil and foil versions of the regular card. So keep in mind that there is no barrier of entry to getting this card if you just need to play the card. It's just for the Enchanted artwork that's seeming to buy out right now. I couldn't tell you why. If I'm being honest with you, I never thought that this card would be something keen for Illusions. This is a character that gets banished by Brawl. Its stats don't seem like overwhelming, and its ability only, its ability can come up if you're like forcing your illusions to challenge into other players' cards. But this is something you can easily play around by just like not interacting with any of the illusions. So I don't know if this is collectability. I don't know if this is just rumors based on what's been leaked so far. Kevin, do you think there's any reason for anyone to pick up this card at around $200 right now?
No, no, no. I personally think it has a lot to do with the rumors, like random cards that are being leaked from the new set. And by the way, Zach, you can't even use this on your own turn. It's only during your opponent's turn whenever one of your illusion characters is banished. So this card's buns. I'm sorry, like I don't like this card. I know people have asked me, shout out Saucy, I know you've mentioned it. People have asked like, I want to pick up this card, this enchanted card, while it's cheap, because when the next set comes out, maybe illusions are going to be really good and this Jafar gets better. And honestly, even if illusions are really powerful, like even if there's like really strong illusion characters, this is still not the card you play in the deck. Like everything you said, Zach, and more. It's just not a good card in my opinion. From strictly competitive play wise, collectability wise, it's a cool Jafari looking card. I like it a lot. But yeah, it's just, again, like I don't think I don't see how illusions are gonna really synergize with this, again, especially if it's only on your opponent's turn, because you can't even crash them in yourself and get the value there. Yeah, it's a mediocre card in my opinion. Probably again going up in price because of the hype, bro. Market price is $100, lowest verified $195, recent sales are $120. So don't probably don't pay 190 for this card this weekend. Maybe try and aim for somewhere like 120, 150. But personally, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna make the illusion deck broken. I think if illusions end up being broken, it's gonna be because of any new cards that get released and not any of the current ones we have. Because Iago is a very good card, and Giant Cobra is already a very good card. Shere Khan's already a very good card, and that's a no, it's not Shere Khan. Well, what's the tiger's name again? Don't tell me. Raja.
Yeah.
There you got to think about that one.
I talk about Raja all the time. I always tell people Raja's slept on. So
yeah, Raja's good.
We'll see what happens next time.
Raja's a really good card. But yeah, like and even then, like I don't think that Jafar adds to that. But stop falling for the hype, guys. Stop falling for the hype. There's a bunch of rumors and semi-confirmed news. But like we don't know what's gonna happen. So like I wouldn't buy that card for more than $100 personally. Aurora Waking Beauty kind of going up in price a little bit in the last couple days. Market price is 178. All the recent sales at 175 have been selling very easily. A recent sale for 195 as well. Lowest verified today is going to be Health Points TCG for 190, and it kind of sticks around that 190-ish price in the first two listings, and it jumps to $200 here by Ideal 808. So I don't know why this is going up exactly, Zach, but it is a Singer 5. There's a world where in a world of rotation, some of our favorite Singer cards like Cinderella, Ballroom Sensation, Ariel, Spectacular Singer, those are Singer 5 characters. So some of the newer Singer 5 characters might be more relevant in the future. You never really know. Some other cards going down in price.
I do want to add, sorry to cut you off, but the reason why I like that card is because the removal Ruby has for 1 and 2 strength characters could get rotated out, and I think if Brawl and Sisu don't exist, this is the better Singer 5 than Gaston for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Brawl being a little better sometimes because it avoids Brawl. Gaston being a little better because it avoids Brawl. Maui Hero to All Enchanted. These were selling for around $200 just a couple weeks ago. Look at this. Not too many sales happening in April, but on the 7th, 223. On the 10th, 223. On the 19th, 215. On the 24th, we have one for 200. And then just yesterday and today, one for 155, and two of them for 155. This card is going down in price. Lowest verified is 160 with $2.50 shipping. It jumps to 170 by American Card Shop right after that, but there are still a decent amount of listings for less than 150 here from some non-verified sellers. But yeah, I think this card's going down in price because of the rumors. You know what I mean? If the first chapter gets rotated out, that means you're probably not going to be playing Maui Hero to All in your decks. I think Maui's still collectible Enchanted. I think first chapter Enchanteds are always going to be collectible. But this one being one of the most playable Enchanteds in the set and the price coming down this quickly already is kind of telling. We've also seen some rumors about some reprints happening in the new sets, so that's a big thing too, right? If it's kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if Maui gets rotated out, then the card price goes down. If Maui gets reprinted, then the card price goes down because there's more reprints. So I guess with the Enchanted, it's going to be whether or not this card Maui Hero to All stays post rotation or not. So that's going to be really interesting to see. There's some other cards coming down in price this week. Rapunzel, gifted with healing today and selling for not $50. These have been selling for $50, $55, $60 all format long, and today they're as low as $45.99. People just listing these. Cold foil selling for $80. People are looking like people are offloading their first chapter high rarity cards. Look at these selling for $44, $40. Japanese non-foil $41. So yeah, no longer $50 right now for your Rapunzels. Maybe consider trying to get some of these if they keep coming down in price throughout the weekend, because this card has not been less than $40 in a long time. Same thing goes for Hades Infernal Schemer. We saw this card at around $25 last week. Market price is still at $21, but it's a first chapter legendary, possible rotated card. So these are selling for $18 again. The K cards, $18. To the Shadows, $18. Kaneki cards, $18. Less than $20 now from 1 week to the next for your non-foil Hades Infernal Schemers. Cold foils are still $50, which is not bad at all right there, actually, by Lorcana Addict. Lowest verified. Shout out you guys. Zach, how are you feeling watching some of our favorite cards just dip in price post this rumor news?
I don't want to say how I feel because I don't like it, but I think it's overall like better for players to kind of to get into the game again, and then the barrier of entry with prices being as high as they are does deter some players from getting in the game. And without like confirmed news of what's going to happen, how they're going to do everything, a lot of people are, I would say, panic selling some of their cards just so they can have extra money to either buy the cards later on if they do get reprinted, or just to buy new cards in general, since the ones that they used to have are no longer competitive play. Again, we just won't know what's going to come out in the reprints, and anything that happens, like we'll like to reflect back to this market watch video and future market watches to see where card prices are when they do get reprinted, because it coming from other TCGs, when they reprint stuff, sure, prices dip, but eventually over time they can settle back up, they can go back up based on the demand of the, or how good the card may be. Certain colors only have certain cards that do certain things. For example, Rapunzel is Amber's only draw card, so I would really dislike to see it not be in the newest rotation, in my opinion, because that's a very, very important card to the Amber strategy. Unless they print something that does something totally different, then I wouldn't see a reason for Rapunzel not to be included. But a card that was very hyped up and was pretty much the highest percentage, I would say, increase for market more recently was Peter Pan Shadow Finder. This was a 25-30 cent card that reached up to upwards of $5 recently, and now you can buy copies for as little as $2, maybe $3-4, depending on how much your shipping costs are. But look at this, guys, you got 16 copies from one vendor, and I do want to say that this seller had about 50 plus copies just on Wednesday when I was looking at prices to sell at. And if you guys do need some of these singles and you are in the Southern California area, I vend at the Frankenstein's Collectible Show every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Kevin, where can people find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at Ninja Exchange in Carlsbad. That's in North San Diego County. It's kind of like Frankenstein's, a bunch of different vendors there. So if you're ever in the North San Diego County area, feel free to come by Carlsbad at the Ninja Exchange Collectible Show. You can find us at booth, I think it's 6:30. But yeah, I got a bunch of Lorcana stuff there, a bunch of other games there if you guys play other TCGs there as well. But yeah, Zach, making a really good point there. A lot of other card games do reprints, they do ban lists, they do rotations. So if it's not your first rodeo, then you kind of know what to expect too with some of these cards. Some of them could go down in price now. They can shoot back up. This talk of a rotation, it's all like speculation with in terms of like how it's gonna go down. None of us know what exactly they're gonna reveal on Tuesday. So for the most part, like we could all just be wrong on how this works. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then even then, like it's looking like it won't happen until like a couple sets from now. So people are still going to be using these cards up until like their let's say Reign of Jafar set championships at least. So that I think these cards are still relevant, right? But yeah, from $5 to around $3 for your Peter Pan Shadow Finder. Cold foils are still sitting at around $15. Market price is around $17, but these cold foils are sitting for lowest verified
We've always talked
$15
about
today.
getting the cold foils.
Yeah, cold foils are just good, especially for some of those cards that blow up. If you could find a lot of these super rares, cold foils for cheap, I think that's still pretty good in my opinion. Especially if they're gonna be post that rotation rumor, right? Like Diablo Devoted Herald just dropping down in price. Remember that first week when the ban list hit and everybody was complaining about how this card was going to be the next meta and how Diablo deserved to be banned, and then this card shot up to $45, and today, look at this little hill. Today, the lowest verified is $25 again for your Diablo Devoted Heralds by Riffle TCG. Lowest verified. Recent sales are around $25, $23, $24. Yeah, man. Diablo dropping down in price. It is a card that people are worried is not going to be playable in the future. And I think people are trying to offload this card. Cold Foil Diablo selling for around $40 still on TCG Player, which is a pretty big difference. From their non-foil counterpart, which I don't think is going to last very long. Usually when we see legendaries that have enchanteds, the cold foil and the non-foil price seem to be very close to each other, kind of like this Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood. Lowest verified is $20 now. $19.95 by Blue Eyes Gaming over here for your Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood. More cards going down in price because of these rumors, Zach Stone. More and more cards. $26.45 for your cold foil Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood. What do you think of this card and the price today?
price is very low, to and a little saddened. Amber Steel has a place in my heart always and forever, but this is not seeing play in a lot of the lists at the moment. I know some people still play Robin Hood, some people like Robin Hood, but I'm not the biggest fan of this card in the current meta. However, it's I personally don't think the leaks and rumors affected the prices of Diablo and Robin Hood. So my honest opinion is that Diablo has had the biggest target on its head since Hiram's ban, and there's a lot of cards that I would say answer Diablo. And it doesn't seem to do well in a meta where a lot of cards are evasive and can get rid of evasive threats. So that might have another reason. The Diablo might be a different story for why its price isn't the way it is. I think a lot of people were overhyping Diablo, and unfortunately, that's how this game goes. You have to be careful of reacting to the hype because prices spike because of it. The Robin Hood, I just don't think is seeing a lot of play anymore, and that's probably why the price is the way it is. But a card that I think has been affected by the leaks or rumors per se is Be Prepared. Now, we always talk about Be Prepared being the only card that does what it does. Basically, it just wipes the board. It's a clean, easy answer. If it doesn't see, it doesn't get rotated in, it doesn't see, it won't see play, and people a little, worried that this card, this is still a powerful card, and people might be worried if they can't play copies, they should get rid of them now.
All right, Be Prepared, Zach Stone. Card was selling for around $9-ish, $10 for a while, and now they're around $7. So I wonder if this is getting impacted by the rumors. People want to get rid of some of those cards. Another card going down in price is Scrooge McDuck, selling for around $13 today. Lowest verified. Look at this hill. It's just been coming down and down ever since Flowersham got banned. This collect is our lowest verified, $12.97 with 89-cent shipping for your Scrooge McDucks. But cold foils are still sitting pretty at this almost $40 mark. $37 for a cold foil Scrooge by Druid's Lair, and then $38 by Nuka-Pina right there for a cold foil Scrooge McDuck, which is not bad. Jafar Striking Illusionist, this legendary going up in price. We talked about this on Monday because Ansayed won a tournament over the weekend with Amethyst Steel, Jafar Wheel. So cool that it rhymes, right? $11.80 is our lowest verified by GGAZ. So if you have these non-foil legendaries, they are more than $10 today. You're going to be able to sell them for around $11, $12. And cold foils are close to $20 still. The Vault Online has them for $18.28, which is really good to see, especially if you've been waiting a little bit to buy your cold foil Jafars, because on Monday, we looked at the prices and they were selling for $28, $25, more than $20 basically. So $18.28 is the lowest verified. So if you're paying around $20, I think that's a really good deal right now. Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, if you want to talk about deals, Maleficent Monstrous Dragon is on sale. These are $10.69 with $1 shipping, lowest verified by To the Shadows. Market price is $12, but listings are even cheaper than $12 for your Maleficent Monstrous Dragons. Let's take a look at the cold foils, because these have always been keeping a very high price. But no, look at this. Even these are coming down in price. Market price is $68, but the cold foils today, $52 with $2 shipping for a Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. I definitely think this is because of the news and the rumors, right, Zach?
Yeah, it's the big bad doesn't seem to have its big high price tag anymore, and that rhymed too. But it's nice to know that cold foils are something that's worth having, because the non-foils are gonna keep going down.
Yeah, some other cards going up in price though, if you've been holding on to some cards. Queen's Castle Mirror Chamber, this cold foil going up to a little bit closer to $5. Lowest verified is now $4.61 with some extra shipping by the Vault Online. Market price is $4.75, and I think a lot of people are playing this card in their decks now. Very good to see. I've been seeing it in Blurple decks. I've been seeing it in Ruby Amethyst decks, and I think the card is really that good. I want to talk about Finders Keepers real quick, because this is another card that I see a lot in the meta today. I play this in Ruby Amethyst, and I think it's so good. And the Blurple decks play like 3 or 4 of these, and it's so good too. Market price is $147 for your local league promo, but these are selling for $230, lowest verified with some extra shipping costs. So anywhere from $2 to $3 now for your league promo. Finders Keepers, and Pirate's Life also going up in price. This is an important one. The market price for this card list is at around $9, but the lowest verified is going to be $11.50. So you're going to have to pay at least $11 to $12 for your cold foil Pirate's Life today online if you want to pick those up. Maybe in person you can find them for a little cheaper, maybe closer to $10. But yeah, this card no longer a $10 cold foil, going up in price now. We're in a Pirate's Life meta, right, Zach? That's what I've been saying for a while now.
Yeah, it's a very much a like catch-all card because you're gaining lore and reducing your opponent's lore. There's only a handful of cards that actually reduce your opponent's lore, and shout outs to Ducky. He did kind of mention that that's going to be pivotal in this kind of card game as later sets and more cards get released. So again, it's a sing together card. It doesn't see a lot of play outside of the Din a Little lore lists, but every once in a while it does get splashed into some cool Ruby Am lists that do play Maui Shark too.
I think the card's really good. Like I think even No Shark Ruby Amethyst, I like this card a lot. No Shark Red Blue, I like this card a lot. Like it's just one of those cards that means you can win against the aggressive decks, right? But before we call it a day, I want to take a look at the first chapter boxes because we've seen a lot of rumored, a lot of news, a lot of grainy pictures as screenshots, as the Team Lorcana mentioned in their stream, and some of these prices have been kind of going down too for the first chapter booster boxes, at least listed prices, right? Lowest verified today is $375, although the market price is still $410. Some recent sales are all in the $400+ range, but they're listed for less than $400 now. So I wonder if that's because of the rumored news, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below about that. Rain of Jafar pre-orders are now available on TCG Player, but these will not get shipped until June 6th, so be aware of that. If you guys want to get your Rain of Jafar pre-orders, we highly recommend you going to your local game stores instead, right?
Yes, and if you do need some of those pre-orders, I know that there's some people in our local area that were still offering pre-orders. Just inquire with them and reach out because a lot of shops do like to help the community and provide those products. And again, it's going to be more supported for LGSs with the Ravensburger Play Hub thing coming out. I know there's a lot of other like stores that are still getting involved and signing up for all that stuff because announcements went out weeks ago about that. And this is going to be sort of like catered to our LGSs, so you won't be able to find a lot of product elsewhere. Keep in mind that it doesn't ship for a certain time, but the pre-orders that you get them from an LGS store have an early pre-release date. So if you want them a week or before that, definitely reach out to your local game stores. Some people in the other areas of the country may not have a local game store that's relatively close to them, so they do have to go online. TCG Player is at least a fair and valuable source because you can get your product and you just know when you're getting it and you have a safeguard through tcgplayer.com. But yeah, with all of these leaks, all these rumors and stuff, I think it's better just to kind of wait for the official announcements that we're going to have Tuesday. I think they go live around like 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to the future of Lorcana. If what's been rumored is said to be true, I'm okay with rotation. I'm okay with all that happening because I think it's healthy for the game. I think it's going to get a lot of newer players involved, and it's going to be something that they can tinker with if they're able to bring stuff back and reprint it. So
yeah, I mentioned this when Flaversham got banned. That a lot of other games, or there's a world where they just reprint Flaversham. It just has like a different stat line, exact same effect, same characters, it's stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's a card game. It's a game. They can do whatever they want with it, right? Like it's a business even, and we're just the consumer. And I'm gonna consume it no matter what. Like I like this game. I love it mechanically. I'm gonna play it. Like obviously, we're biased. We're very well invested into Lorcana, the Lorcana space. So there's very little that can go down for me to be like I'm not playing this game because I like the game genuinely. I like the collectability of it. None of this takes away from the fact that I want to hold cards up there that are Lorcana based. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. None of this takes that away. But we want to hear your opinions down below. I want to hear what you guys think of the rumors. We didn't share any pictures in this video of the grainy screenshots that are available because those are available. If you guys want to go find leaked information, don't rely on this channel to give you leaked information. That can be found on your own. We're going to talk about stuff that's relevant and stuff that's newsworthy because this is, the Lorcana made it by doing this stream, they basically kind of said, hey, we're aware of the leaked news. And then, one of those grainy pictures was the world dates announcement, so they had to clear that up. And I want to say thank you to Team Lorcana for doing that because I know a lot of people, including myself, wanted to go start buying Airbnbs and plane tickets, and this was a very good way to stop people from spending money they didn't need to spend. So they're looking out for the community. They're keeping those lines of communication open. I'm very happy for that. But yeah, we want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear down below. Please let me know, what do you think of this idea of a rotation or any other leaks that you may have seen? Leave us in the leave in the comments any cards that you think have been going down in price that we may not have noticed or covered because of any of this news. And overall, are you going to keep playing the game? Is this something that's going to push you away from the game, or are you going to stick around in the Lorcana community and part of the Goon Squad? Or is this something that's kind of going to push you away from playing this game? Because at the end of the day, it is a card game, and there's ups and downs, I think, with what we like and what we don't like, and there's plenty of other card games to play. But I'm like I said, I'm going to stick to Lorcana. That's my main thing. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much, our Lorcana goons, for sticking around this long and watching the end of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can, because it does support the channel. And yeah, let us know in our Discord as well. We got a link in the description if you want to join our Discord. But until then, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you goons next time.